Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be playing Trunk for the very first time, giving you guys a sneak peek. Ignore those master stats. Okay, I definitely got pro last night on my stream. If you want to check that out, you can. I had a lot of fun. But anyways, Trunk is going to be the new brawler releasing tomorrow, with the last time that a brawler will be released through early access. So with Trunk, he's basically, well, he's like a weirder version of Jackie, of course he is. Every single time he attacks, I believe he drops these ants, which will give him, I think, a 20% movement speed buff and a 30% damage buff, which is pretty good, I would say, which makes him a lot more appealing, actually. Like, I thought to begin with, he might just be like a really bad like a Doug, essentially, because he has no way to close down the opponents. But these ants stay on the ground for a while, so maybe he's a lot better than I give him credit for. So, with Trunk, he deals extra damage. You see this little edge circle? You can deal 2.8k damage, but because I'm in my ants, I deal extra damage. But let's just see here, 2.8k. If I'm in my ants, it gives me the 30% damage boost, which is 3.6k, which is quite substantial. So that's actually pretty good with this gadget as well. We'll cover that later. Just throw some ants on the floor. So again, just giving him a speed boost. Maybe he's going to be a little bit better than I anticipated. Let's see his super charge rate. So his super is, I believe, he just throws around a bunch of ants and deals a lot of damage. But I want to see his super charge rate. Give me a sec. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay. I feel like it should be 4. But it's 5, just a little bit of pixel. I don't know whether that's a glitch or something. Normally, that's normally a glitch. But 5 hits to get super. Okay. That's pretty good. So his super, let's go through his super. So his super can actually bounce, which is hilarious. And he can deal a lot of damage. So, well, that's 3k damage. Doesn't really seem like a lot. But when on top of, like, say here, we can dash through and deal a lot of damage. That's 5.4k damage, and then try and finish him off with some decent shots. So yeah, he's got a fast movement speed. His reload speed is pretty slow, and his attack isn't like instant damage. So that might be, again, like a bit of a weakness to him. But I think with all of these ants on the floor, he's going to be a very interesting brawler. Like, look at how long that stayed on the floor over there. Like, that stayed on the floor for a very long time with his super. So interesting. I'm interested to try him out, to be honest. Maybe I underestimate him a little bit. Guys, now we're going to be jumping through his gadgets, his builds, everything like that. So his first gadget, well, actually, a Trunk isn't he or she. It's just it's a bunch of ants. But the gadget is actually called For the Queen, because, of course, the queen ant is just the superior. So with this gadget, every 7 seconds, you just get to spread a bunch of ants everywhere, which will give you that speed. Which is pretty nice. Of course, that's giving you extra movement speed, it's giving you extra damage, and if you constantly just spamming this gadget, you're just going to get constant buffs, which is really nice. So on top of your attacks dealing, like spreading ants, on top of your super spreading ants gadget, there's a lot of mobility here to be had. Like, look at this. I don't think enemies, yeah, the ants don't deal damage to enemies, which I feel like might have been a thing beforehand. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, this gadget seems pretty solid. I mean, I feel like you're always going to get value with it. With it being such a short cooldown, it's decent. So it's a lot better than some other gadgets out there. That's the first gadget. Let's jump into number 2. Okay, so now jumping into gadget number 2, it's called Worker Ants. So with this gadget, he heals from the first source of damage taken, which I'm trying to see what this actually does. So let's press the gadget here. So early heals. So I think it's just going to heal directly the amount of damage you take. So I feel like that's good, but also with such a big cooldown, I mean, he does need like some type of healing probably in his kit here. I just feel like a lot of tanks would need one. So I mean, it's not the worst, but it's not like the best either. Maybe like the other gadget would just be pretty good to give him that extra bit of movement speed. So again, like, yeah, I don't see it being like anything broken, but it definitely can help him with survivability, to be honest, especially in 1 versus 1. I mean, yeah, I think it'll be good. It won't be anything broken, but it'll be decent. Now, jumping into star power number 1. I forgot what it was even called because there's a long star power, but star power number 1, it makes it so wherever there's ants, the enemies will be dealing 15% less damage. So this will work really well in combination with the first gadgets. The first gadget, first star power. The first gadget, if you guys are unsure again, you just spread ants everywhere. So if you're just literally running around the map, cycling super, cycling gadgets, you're going to be reducing the opponent's damage by a lot. Like, look at the trail we just left behind. So imagine covering the entire map. Like, you could have covered the entire grass on a map like Sneaker Fields, and you're just constantly cycling through this. Like, look at this. The ants are still there for such a long time. That's crazy. So 15% damage reduction. I feel like this could be a really, really good star power. Now we're going to be jumping on to star power number 2 and also Trunk's best matchups overall then. So Trunk's best matchups, you basically got to think of Jackie and then maybe like, I'm trying to think of like probably like Fang. Like what is Fang good into? Because Fang's got that dash capability. So it's kind of the same with Trunk because of course his super is a dash forward. So okay, scared about bet he was going to score there. So the one thing throwing me off straight away here is his attack delay. I feel like there's room for him to get countered a little bit here, just with his attack taking a little bit longer to go off. So even against his best matchups, this might be a little bit annoying. You can see there, like, that definitely did cost me. I can't super forward here because they'll probably just score. So if you're wondering as well, these bots are a little bit better than usual. So it will give me a bit of a harder game, but I'm against my better matchups. So star power number 2, by the way, is that the ants reveal position of the enemies in bushes. So maybe if they go over the ants, okay, they do, yeah. I mean, that's okay. I just don't think that's going to be better than fully reducing enemies damage by 15%. Like, that's a huge number. That's a huge number. Again, like, normally up against bots, you can tell when I went like Larry and Laurie, I was just destroying them. But Trunk just feels a bit, like getting close. It's so hard to get the additional damage. It reminds me of, wasn't Doug like that upon his release? And like, look, the attack's a little bit. My first impressions without even trying Trunk was that he wasn't going to be that good of a brawler. But yeah, again, after trying him, he just feels a bit like, look at this, 3 attacks to kill a Barley. And you've got to fully concentrate. Like, I just think other brawlers are going to get value. And I actually think, as well, one of the biggest things about Trunk is that he hasn't got a hypercharge. So that could be a big problem for him. But I think on bushy maps, he will definitely be a problem. But then when you think of, like, other brawlers, I think it's the meta. If there was more balance changes and brawlers like Ash, Kenji, Draco, I'm trying to think of a few others, didn't really exist, I feel like Trunk would be a lot better. But I think they're just going to feed hypercharge from Trunk pretty easily. And yeah, Trunk won't be able to do anything about that. So let's try and dash on the Barley there. Okay, well, I deleted the Barley, like deleted him. So he's good against these squishy, low DPS brawlers. But are there just better options that can farm hypercharge and change the game? Probably. That's what it's going to come down to, guys. Like, again, I'm losing against bots. It's pretty embarrassing. But we tried it out. And again, I feel like I'm just struggling to really deal with anything overwhelming him as well. So yeah, best matchups, low DPS brawlers. Think of the throwers, think of like pennies, etc. I mean, I got 13 and 1, but I didn't really feel the impacts with Trunk right there. So now moving into Trunk's worst matchups overall then, it's got to be brawlers similar to Jackie. So that counter Jackie. So like the high damage brawlers, you think of like any tank and assassin that can farm hypercharge, they're going to be countering Trunk. Because also, I forgot to even mention, Trunk doesn't even have the tank trait. So even when he's just getting absolutely deleted, he's not farming super from that, which is just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Sorry, I'm out of breath because I've just been running down the stairs. But we should be able to kill the Frank. There we go. So I can deal a lot of damage up close sometimes. 4k damage is a lot, but I don't know, it's a little bit awkward, especially with brawlers with like high mobility. There's so many hypercharges in the game around. I just don't see really too much of a place for Trunk in this meta. Funnily enough, it'd be hilarious if I was wrong, but I just get the feeling it's literally, I mean, this could be deadly, this combination. But again, there's just so many shutdowns to aggressive ideas in this meta. That healing can be good, but sometimes it's a little bit awkward. Like, I tried it in another game. Okay, that super was disgusting, by the way. Maybe just need to get used to how to play Trunk, but that was with that. I deleted that Tara. I completely deleted the Tara. But I think if Trunk had the tank trait, then he would be not that bad. But I don't know why 10k health brawler doesn't have the tank trait. Alright, this Frank is just deleting me. Like, what can I even do here? Do I just die in this situation? Yeah, of course I do. I thought maybe like it would heal me like as I take the damage. I don't know what I thought. I thought I'd try it, guys. I thought I'd try it. So yeah, I don't know, just a little bit awkward. Again, after this game, I'll talk about where I think he is in the meta. But you can see, like, when I'm struggling against bots, that's when you start to know this brawler isn't as good as other ones previously. So again, here we can get a bit of damage through the wall, but it seems pretty slow. Like, any other brawler in the game would be able to delete them much quicker. We do actually deal a lot of damage to that Frank, fully enough. maybe this super is the key to success. I know that's the same with a lot of brawlers, but the super seems pretty good. I think I underrated the super a little bit, but wouldn't you rather just another tank or assassin in the game that has a hypercharge? Wouldn't you just rather go them? So again, another thing just not going Trunk's way whatsoever. So we do manage to delete the Frank there, but yeah, I'm a little bit unsold on him right now. So those are his worst matchups. High DPS brawlers, typical tank counters. Also the maps, like open maps, wall breakers paired with like a B. It's just same as Jackie pretty much here. But at least with Trunk, he has a bit more mobility, but it's going to be really hard to even get his super. So let's go through just how strong I think Trunk's going to be in the meta. Also his best builds, etc. So I think his best builds are going to be his gadget that heals him, and it's going to be the one that gives damage reduction. Those are definitely going to be his best. I just feel like I know with Trunk that he gets this additional movement speed with his ants, which can help when he shoots his main attack, but I think the biggest problem actually is that he just hasn't got the tank trait. So especially players that can just keep your distance against a lot of the top meta brawlers, they're just going to pinch Trunk too easily, in my opinion, at top level. And yeah, he's just going to get farmed on. It's just as simple as that. He's going to get completely farmed on, and the top meta brawlers, you know, they'll farm their hypercharges, etc. So in my eyes, I'm going to predict Trunk to be a D tier brawler. I could be wrong, because a lot of good brawlers in the meta, like a lot of new brawlers in the meta, are just broken upon release. But hear me out. So one big reason is literally the fact that his main attack is just pretty weird when you think about it. It's pretty inconsistent. Like, I know you'll probably learn how to use it effectively, but I think it's very, very, well, it is literally hit and miss. It's like Doug's, how you just got to focus with every attack, and brawlers like that tend to struggle a little bit. Okay, I don't want to score this. I want to drag this out as long as possible. So yeah, I mean, if you get in position, I didn't realize Lumi was so bad as a bot. If you get in position, of course, he can be pretty dangerous, especially with a super. Like, look at a super. You can shred through people easily. But again, I just think in pro play with the meta around, like, I just don't see Trunk being good. It pains me to say it, because Trunk feels, well, he just seems like a really fun brawler to play. But I just don't think he'll be as good as other brawlers upon release whatsoever. It just feels a bit clunky, doesn't he? It just feels a bit clunky. I mean, on those pushy maps, yeah, he might be good. I think once the hypercharge comes out, he probably will be a really good brawler in the meta, but I just don't foresee him being really that good. So ignore my dog barking, by the way. And yeah, I mean, I think his best game modes are going to be like Gem Grab and Brawl Ball. Outside of that, you know, Heist unusable, Knockout unusable, Bouncy unusable, maybe like Layer Cake can be usable. Hot Zone might actually be pretty decent in Hot Zone, because the ants will be everywhere, but the ants aren't dealing damage. Yes, they're reducing the damage, but they're not actually dealing damage to the opponents. Again, another thing that might have made Trunk good was that if the ants would deal just like a small tick of damage, that probably would be a bit too strong. But I just, no tank trait. Ants don't really do that much. Yeah, if this bot was anyone other than Lumi, then I think that would have been a lot better. But anyways, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I didn't really want to dive too deep into Trunk, just because I don't think he'll be a good brawler whatsoever. When I just looked at him, I just thought it's going to be Doug 2.0. I mean, he's got the super that's going to make him a bit better than Doug. It's not going to be completely useless, but yeah, in terms of gadgets, like I said, Worker Ants and the Star Power, I think are going to be the clear better options, in my opinion. Maybe if Trunk is as bad as I think he is, then I think this one might be a bit better, because it just gives you a constant speed boost. But yeah, I don't think he'll be that good, so I don't think it's going to be worth whatsoever buying the early access, but I'll be buying it tomorrow and testing him out, pushing him, and let's see if my prediction is right. So yeah, I'm predicting D tier, maybe even F tier with Trunk. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.